All right, next game, Eagles at the Steelers. This line opened up Steelers -7. It's still 7, although the vig is rising, so maybe that's an indication that this will head to 7.5 eventually, kind of like we saw at the Eagles at the 49ers last week. So who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I like the Steelers. This is different than the 49ers game last week, which was one of my biggest mistakes. Don't bet on Nick Mullins, especially when you think early in the week, you're like, yeah, this line is way too many points favored for Nick Mullins. And then later in the week, you're like, no, I'm not betting on the Eagles. Their offensive line's too banged up. Like, obviously that argument works, but not when you're talking about a backup quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense, they've been very good this year. They're very good blocking. Deontay Johnson should be healthy after a week off. He had already been on track, I think, to return from the concussion he suffered last game out. So he should be ready to play. They'll be able to tear apart the back seven in this Eagles defense with Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, Eric Ebron. They have so many weapons. They'll be able to get the job done. And then the Eagles, their offense, Carson Wentz looked better last week, but the Steelers are going to find a way to get a ton of pressure on him because he's missing 4 of his top 6 offensive linemen, which is just a nightmare for him. It's why he's under pressure so much. It's why he's looked so bad at times this year because he's running for his life constantly. I do have a little bit of worry about if the Eagles can pressure Roethlisberger, but I think the offensive line in Pittsburgh's good enough. The Eagles do have a lot of sacks this year, though, so that's just something to keep an eye on. And I think the Steelers having extra time to prepare and get healthy and just be ready for the Eagles is big in this circumstance because I think Tomlin's a good coach. He doesn't get enough credit. I don't think he's elite, but he's good. So I like the Steelers here -7. Probably do 2 units on them. I think this is just a rock solid game right now, and I would try to get the -7 while you can, just while we're at a key number, because I don't think there are going to be any major injury impacts.
Yeah, I agree. I'll have to take blame on the 49ers one because I remember specifically talking to you last week on the show, and then you brought up like, I don't know about Nick Mullins, or maybe it was after we started recording, but like you were like, I don't know about betting Nick Mullins with the 7 points. I'm like, it's okay. He's not a double-digit favorite like Mason Rudolph was in that one game last year. So I will take the fault for that one. Unfortunately, we lost that. Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. I mean, this is completely different. Like the fact that the Steelers are favored by the same number of points that the Niners were last week, is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. Like the Steelers are a lot better than the Niners are right now. Like it obviously would be different if the Niners still had all their players, but they're down. The Niners are down their top 3 cornerbacks. They're down their top 2 edge rushers. They have some other injuries. They can't block right now. This Steelers team is so much better than the Niners were last week. So it just seems like a big mismatch. Like the Eagles have all the issues in the offensive line. They're missing 3 starting linemen and maybe 4 if you include Lane Johnson, who's going to be on and off the field apparently. They're going to have to block TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, like all those guys. I just don't see how the Eagles are going to score any points. And then on the other side, the Eagles have injuries at corner. So how they're going to cover Deontay Johnson and Juju Smith-Schuster and James Washington and Chase Claypool, like it's just too many weapons for the Eagles to deal with, and their linebackers stink too. So they'll have to defend Eric Ebron over the middle of the field, who could have a big game. So yeah, it just seems like the Steelers should win this one easily. I'm on this one pretty big, like 3 to 5 units.
Yeah, and I could definitely see getting up to that level. I've got to reassess what I want to make my biggest bets, but this matchup is just super lopsided. And if you think about it too, take out the Nick Mullins pick 6 last week, and I think the Eagles have 18 total points. So it's not like their offense was moving the ball crazy well anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Nick Mullins is so bad in that game. He was just like that. The pass to Juszczyk that he could have hit early, this would have been like an 88-yard touchdown. That was it. Like if the Niners go up big, I don't think the Eagles win that game or even stay close. But he just left too many points on the field. All right.